Hello and welcome everyone to this second screencast of the project seminar International Management and Innovation. My name is Helen Mengis and I'm a member of the team of Professor Ebersberger's Chair for Innovation Management. Today I'm going to briefly introduce you on how to conduct a systematic literature review. We hope that this is especially helpful for when you approach the second task of your research paper, where you investigate the use of your qualitative method in the management literature. We conduct systematic literature reviews in order to demonstrate our understanding of the discussion on a specific topic in the literature. And we do this by analyzing and synthesizing all relevant information contained in these articles. This means that a literature review first off determines the most relevant contributions made to the topic. In your case, relevance refers to first off contributions to the management research, and second off, amongst these contributions, only articles that have employed your method. Literature reviews provide an overview of the concepts used in the articles. In your case, this refers to the research context in which your method is employed. So this could be within the management discipline, whether it is in the field of innovation management or within the marketing context, but also within these disciplines, what research questions have been addressed and what is the main subject of investigation, what is the investigation level. So is it a study investigating on the organizational level or on the individual level? Are individual people examined? So these are just possibilities on how you can structure your analysis and your literature reviews when going through the papers. A literature review identifies the key factors and variables addressed that affect that specific topic and how these are related to each other, and it outlines conflicting evidence and discusses it. So what are reasons why there are studies coming to, for example, contradicting effects of a certain variable A on another variable B. Please, when you come up with, or when you find conflicting evidence, address it and discuss it. And discussing means that you try to find explanations why, for example, a paper in a different research context comes up with a different finding. And ideally, you find any research gaps. You find research gaps. This means that in your case, this could be, or in any case, this could be that a topic or a variable or a certain phenomena is mentioned or addressed repeatedly but not properly explained. This would lead you to a typical implication for further research. And of course, we hope that you learn from the methodology and that you increase your own methodological skills. A literature review, as I just starts by determining all relevant contributions made to the field. You do this by defining appropriate search terms and keywords. Keywords, in your case, are the name of your qualitative method um, in the first place, and when reading through some of the first identified articles, you might come up with synonyms used for your method, other names used to describe your method, which you could then also include in your keywords. You need to select an appropriate database, which relates to the coverage of the database of literature. We recommend you to use the Scopus database, which we have licensed at the university. It is a database from Elsevier and covers a wide range of journal articles and abstracts. When yeah, looking at the selection process of the relevant articles, it is important that you restrict your sample to the relevant subject area. So, in our case, this is the management literature, management research, and you could also, or you should, restrict the document type and, for example, exclude conference proceedings and only look at the journal articles in the first place and journal articles. Um, and the document source is another option to refine your result in case, for example, that after restricting to these two um, uh, areas, or after having restricted within these areas, if you still have a large amount of articles, you could further restrict your sample to contributions from specific journals only. This is meant by document source. The abstract reading can help you in the first place to identify if your article is really relevant. So ideally, it is already indicated there whether your method is really used, or if it's just mentioned in a different context. And yeah, otherwise you will have to, if this information is not provided in your in the abstract, you will have to screen through the paper, for example, in the method part, and see whether the article really uses your method. Mm, we also recommend to look for the most recently published article, or the latest literature review, if any available, that have been conducted on that topic, in order to cross-check your references, whether you have the references from these with your article list. So thereby you can make sure that you have not missed any relevant contribution to the field. Mm, yeah, this would be the selection process, and then you would start reading the full articles, and thereby, as I just said before, try to cluster subject areas, research questions, research context of the literature, and we recommend you to start at a more general level um, when analyzing, and yeah, refine and yeah, more precisely define your structure of analysis at a later stage. When writing your literature review, um, start by summarizing what has been said, or what content you have already been provided in the in each of the article, then try to compare the information provided on that variable, on that specific topic in the respective articles, and contrast if there is any conflicting evidence. And of course, then evaluate your findings. And by evaluation, we mean discuss what you have found, and find reasons, explanations for these findings. In order to craft your own paper, we recommend you to highlight the new insight that you have found. So, what is your contribution? What is your new insights? Normally, I would ask you now if you have any more questions, but we will postpone this to the next coaching session held virtually within the next weeks. No? Here are some more useful papers. In the first paper, which we recommend, is is an explanation and a great guideline for how to conduct a systematic literature review. We highly recommend you to read this, to use this, and yeah. The other two articles provided here are, in our opinion, good examples of systematic literature reviews. So they have conducted systematic literature reviews and might serve you as an inspiration on what you can do, how you can structure your analysis, and how you can especially prepare the discussion part. These are useful online tutorials. I have already mentioned Scopus, the literature database, which we have licensed in Hohenheim from Elsevier. Two helpful YouTube tutorials for advanced searches in Scopus. I will give you a brief introduction into this in a minute, but yeah, for more, look here. And I will also briefly introduce you to MaxQDA after the Scopus session. MaxQDA is a document analysis software which we have also licensed at the university. Especially in view of your group work, we recommend you to use computer-assisted literature analysis, content analysis, so that it is retraceable for your teammates on how you have analyzed the paper. An alternative would be to do this in Excel or on paper, whatever you are used to. So I would now switch to short introductions to Scopus and MaxQDA. So first, I will show you how to search literature in Scopus, and then second, very brief introduction into MaxQDA, just in case that you are interested in using MaxQDA. All right, then I will end this here and open Scopus. When you are not on campus, please don't forget to connect to the VPN in order to be able to use all functionalities of Scopus. Let's try again. Okay, this was my last search. So what you see here is now the document search in Scopus. If your page doesn't look like this, please check on the upper left if you're connected to the university network, and otherwise, yeah, make sure to re-establish or to establish the connection via VPN. So on the left here, you enter your keywords, or maybe let's start up here. Make sure that you are in the document search. There are plenty of other search opportunities. We will just use the document search. Enter the keywords on the left, and there are also different options on where to look for these keywords within the articles. You can only look in the abstracts of the articles, in the keywords, and so on. I would recommend you to look in the article title and the abstract and the keywords. This means that the keyword inserted here is either mentioned in the title, abstract, or in the keywords. Professor Ebersberger and I have already used the example of participant observation in the kickoff session. I will do this too and just enter participant observation. Either like that, so that it is searching for the complete term for both words, or you can use the operators and or and so ever and do it like this. So participant and observation means that both words need to be included. Yeah, I will just quickly show you what other operators are possible. So here is the or, so either one of these, or and not. So this would mean that in the case of participant and not observation, that only participant and without the second word observation. So observation is not allowed or should not be included. Yeah. All right, let's start the search. 45,000 documents, that's a lot. And you can see the document results here if you have not yet seen it. And on the left side here are certain categories as the year, publication year, the author names, subject area, and on the right here you have the documents presented as a list. I want to refine the results since we will not use the 45,000 documents here. And the first restriction would be the subject area. Business management and accounting is here. And if you want to see all other possible subject areas, you could choose more here. Let's go with this and click limit 2. Now this looks better. These are still 2,500 and is a lot. And as I said before, I would restrict it to the document type article only. This refers to journal articles. So still a lot of papers, and yeah, you could find different ways on how to limit these. I think we will talk in more detail about this during the coaching session to make it more quick now and to not waste your time. I will just limit this to one journal in the field of innovation management now. Now I can find the one I was looking for. Okay, let's just use the Journal of Business Research and continue with these 9 documents. I recommend you to read the abstracts in Scopus. Then you don't have to download them first and then later detect that you don't need that. You can do this by clicking on the title and by reading the abstract, maybe you already find reasons why this is not relevant. For example, that your method is not employed. Let's assume that all of these 9 documents are relevant for my investigations. This is why I click all, and for the download in MaxQDA, I will click on the download button, and you see here already the warning: some documents may not download in full text due to restrictions on the publisher side. So Scopus does include papers or abstracts of papers that they for which they don't provide the full article. Let's see how many of these 9 are provided here. 8 of the 9, that's good. And if the first one is relevant, I would have to check at the publisher side now whether I can find it or not. Let's do this. Yeah, obviously it's not for free, so this is why I excluded for the moment. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you in Scopus. I have now downloaded the articles. Maybe something I will just mention now but not do is there's also the possibility of exporting the bibliographical data to analyze these in MaxQDA2. I have recorded another screencast which I will provide you with, where I show how this is done. Okay, so the documents are downloaded now. Now I will open MaxQDA. As for Scopus, you need to be connected to the university network to use MaxQDA. I will create a new project, call it okay. This is the window of MaxQDA. What or many windows of MaxQDA. I will first import the documents and then explain you briefly explain you the windows here. And you can either do this by going here and import text PDFs, or by clicking here on this text PDFs and tables button, and you can then choose as many articles as you want at the same time, and now they are all included here in the documents window. So double clicking one of the articles here will show me the article here in the document browser window, and I can read it here. I can also make it a little bit larger, and you cannot just read it, you can also code it here. So the code system window down here, here you can create new codes. For example, let's say you want to code the research question. Let's do another one. Subject of investigation. Investigation level. Findings. And maybe other methods used. And so on. And you can also rearrange the these codes here. You can also create subcodes here. For example, let's create a subcode for investigation level. So let's say individual. And another one for firm. Oh, this has been deleted now. It's recreating. No idea what I have just pressed to have it deleted. But you see how fast new codes are created. Okay, I think this is fine. So let's start typically with the research question, the subject of investigation. And I will now quickly show you how to code the passages. So you can also just highlight whatever you have read with the colors used here. This will then also be coded as yellow, but yeah, if you don't, you don't have to use it and use the different colors. Yes, and let's assume the research question is introduced here. I would then use the research question code and drag and drop it here, and then sorry for the moment, can't, but I think you can see it here. So now this is where the research question is coded, and let's maybe do this with one more paper. And yeah, so this is just very quick and dirty example. You can then, for example, if you want to see all research questions used in these articles, you can click and activate all documents by clicking here in front of this circle of the document folder. And for example, and then activate the research question too. And then the last window, which you can see here on the right, is the retrieved segment window, where you have done the opportunity to watch all or to see all the research questions that you have coded in the specific articles. You can also export these to Excel, to Word, and further analyze it there, or share it with your team members. So yeah, this is basically just a very quick try to convince you of using MaxQDA. Um, I'm, yeah, more than relieved that I have um, been introduced to this software 2 years ago and can't imagine working without it. Yeah, I think that is basically it. As I just said, I will provide you with another screencast of me analyzing or introducing to MaxQDA, but as indicated in the slides, as provided in the slides, there are plenty more useful tutorials provided by MaxQDL themselves, and yep. So I think this is it. I'm looking forward to yeah, to your questions, to your discussions, to the discussion with you in the next coaching session. All the best and goodbye.